So Republicans have forced a vote on the Green New Deal in Congress. Now, the Green New Deal is right now an aspirational resolution with a couple of core goals that are yet to be fleshed out in complete detail. Nonetheless, Republicans wanted to treat this as a full piece of legislation and so have held a vote on it. Now, of course, basically it's all political trickery to try to get Democrats on the record as supporting this as they make up wild claims about it. Now, during deliberation, some of those claims that Republicans are making have been echoed by Senator Mike Lee, who took some time to point out why he thinks the Green New Deal is bad with hilarious results. Watch.
But that quibble actually serves our purposes here today, Mr. President, because this image has as much to do with overcoming communism in the 20th century as the Green New Deal has to do with overcoming climate change in the 21st. The aspirations of the proposal have been called radical, they've been called extreme, but mostly they're ridiculous. There isn't a single serious idea here, not one. To illustrate, let me highlight two of the most prominent goals produced by the plan's authors. Goal number one, the Green New Deal calls essentially for the elimination of airplanes. Now, this might seem merely ambitious for politicians who represent the densely populated northeastern United States. But how is it supposed to work for our fellow citizens who don't live somewhere between Washington, D.C. and Boston? In a future without air travel, how are we supposed to get around the vast expanses of, say, Alaska during the winter? Well, I'll tell you how. Tauntauns, Mr. President, is a beloved species of reptomammals native to the ice planet of Hoth. Now, while perhaps not as efficient in some ways as airplanes or as snowmobiles, these hairy bipedal species of space lizards offer their own unique benefits. Not only are tauntauns carbon neutral, but according to a report a long time ago and issued far, far away, they may even be fully recyclable and usable for their warmth, especially on a cold night.
That was hilariously dumb. I mean, you saw other pictures included Ronald Reagan on a velociraptor shooting a gun, Aquaman riding a seahorse, so you could get around in Hawaii or around Hawaii, and a picture of babies saying that, oh no, the solution to climate change is to have more kids, and that the Green New Deal says you shouldn't have more kids. Are you serious? So let's get to the substance here for a second. So you heard him. Of the Green New Deal, core principles. One of them is to get rid of air travel, to ban airplanes. Really? Where is that in the resolution? Because there seems to be nothing in the Green New Deal resolution that bans air travel. It's ridiculous. It's a lie. They are literally making things up on the Senate floor. I mean, come on. Now, what the Green New Deal calls for is for overhauling transportation systems in the United States to remove pollution and greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector as much as is technologically feasible. Now, that includes investment in high-speed rail. Now, technologically feasible. Well, right now, we don't have a way to have airplanes not run on fossil fuels. We could, however, in the meantime, until we figure that out, make them more fuel efficient. That would make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Wow. I just figured that out, Mike Lee. How come you're not smart enough to figure that one out? And not only that, but across the continental United States, we could create a high-speed rail system that could reduce travel times. I mean, who wants to spend more time trying to get somewhere else? Seriously. There's room for improvement in our transportation sector. But conservatives like Mike Lee, well, they don't want that. They want more costly, slower transportation so that you spend more money on gas and so that, of course, oil companies profit more. Nonetheless, Republicans, as I said, they come up with the most ridiculous lies about the Green New Deal. Another one is they're going to ban cows. They're going to ban your hamburger. No, it's not in there at all. Absurd. Now, there was a screenshot from this hearing that went out on social media, and of course, it was widely mocked, as it should be. Waleed Shahid originally tweeted this out. Senator Mike Lee is on the Senate floor right now discussing AOC and Senator Markey's Green New Deal. These are not photoshopped, as a lot of people thought they might be. To which Lauren, Demonic Alien, responds, "Are you sure this isn't Photoshop? Because it really looks like it could be Photoshopped." No, it is not. William Lawrence says, "If we don't pass the Green New Deal, we'll end up in another ice age. The Republican Party will use their AR-15s and wave their flags from atop their dinosaur mounts. Aquaman will rule the rising seas as coastal cities are swallowed. Also, babies." Awesome. Blue Rant says, "Nothing is ever more embarrassing than when Republicans have to fill time, revealing that they know nothing and are appealing to others who know nothing, or anytime Mike Lee opens his mouth." Chow Almendra says, "Never thought Congress could out South Park South Park." Love that. Because it's a true statement. It's something you would see on The Onion. Although The Onion's kind of like really got to stretch now at this point. Adam says, "I haven't been this ashamed that he's my senator since he became my senator. I'd apologize to the rest of the country for this, but no, sorry, nothing could be said to make up for this." Xavier Pibb says, "First they came for our guns and light bulbs. Now they're coming for our burgers, cars, and Aquaman." John Adirola says, "I've waited my whole life for The Empire Strikes Back to be recognized on the floor of Congress, and Senator Mike Lee had to come along and ruin it." I feel you, John. I do. As a Star Wars fan, I feel a little violated. Especially that gross misuse of the Tauntaun. Which, by the way, I mean, look, I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Just saying. Mark Hamill, by the way, said, "Please tell me this is Photoshop." Going back to that. Hashtag Congressional Tauntaun Pawn. And the worst guy says, "If global warming is real, why is it snowing on Hoth?" Counterpoint, libtards. Seriously, though, he may be the worst guy, but that's probably one of the best tweets. Bravo. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.